Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to create new user accounts for your employees on the TimberTrack's web app. Here we go. I'm just going to log in quickly. So enter the email address that you used to create your account initially and password. If you happen to forget your password, you can easily recover it or create a new one through this, clicking on this forgot password link. It'll take you through a few different prompts and you'll end up being able to reset that password, no problem. Okay, click the blue sign in button. Okay, so once you've logged in, it's going to take you to this landing page that we call the dashboard. So a few different sections here that I want to quickly go over before we talk about adding new users. And let's just dive right in. So my time card summary. This section is a summary of your personal time cards. So as a contractor account user, you may or may not actually have time cards. You may be salaried, and in which case you can sort of disregard this section. But for this demo, we are going to assume that management also has time cards. So that's what that section's for. The next section over here is for any of your employees' time cards that you may have to approve or reject depending if they're complete. All tracked here based on date, and you can select a specific date range to show. Okay, so next we have this contractor time card summary. This is a general summary of all of the time cards in the system for your company, including a breakdown of hours by phase or by status, including approved, open, pending, or rejected time cards. Okay, and so then this section over here is actually not related to time cards. It is related to your block production. And so again, this is going to be going to give you an overall snapshot of where your blocks are at in terms of hours, delivered volumes, for a given status. All right, so we want to add a new employee. So we're going to go into under this admin tab. If you click on it, a little drop down will pop up for users, and we're going to click on that as well. This will take us to the user summary page, and you can see there's a list of users for this contractor who is interior demo contractor. These are all the accounts that are related to this company. So you can see there's three. There's one employee, one supervisor, and the contractor, which we are signed in as right now. All right, so to add a new user, we're going to click on this blue button here in the top right-hand corner. It's going to take you to this page. This page has a number of blank fields, which I'm going to quickly run through with you. So some of them are pretty straightforward. For example, first name, last name, email address. This email address should be an active, easily accessible for the employee email address, as all of the correspondence is going to go through there. For example, if they reset their password, it's going to be sent to that email. So definitely pick an email address that they're going to be using consistently. Phone number, optional field. Anything with a red asterisk is actually required, so it won't let you save without it. And here you have a little drop-down menu for their role. So either they're a contractor, employee, or supervisor. This is really important because it actually sets a number of permissions for a specific type of user. Next we have contractor, so you're just going to pick the company that you work for, or they work for essentially. You may or may not have more than one option here, it just depends. Okay, here this is a fillable field for their position, so maybe they're an operator, maybe they're a first aid attendant, maybe they're a cook, and you can enter that in there. This next field, subcontractor, are they a subcontractor? Yes or no. Same thing for first aid, do they have their first aid ticket? Yes or no. Okay, the last two sections here, so status. So this is their employment status. So active, we would assume, is they're an active employee. They currently work at the company. You click on that box and there's a few other options. Inactive, somebody who's laid off or on leave potentially, someone who's injured, or terminated, no longer with the company. You can change these status at any point. So if you have an employee leave, you can change that status so that if they're terminated, they will no longer have access to their login. Okay, last but not least, you can set the employee's direct supervisor. This is the person responsible for approving or reviewing their time cards. Last thing you need to do is click this blue Save button in the top corner, and that will make sure that this entry gets saved in the system. Another thing to note here is that once you're in this employee's user account, you can see up here there's an option for an administrator to do a manual reset password. So you just click that button and it sends an email to the employee and it allows them to reset their password. Okay, I'm going to go back to this user page. Okay, so once you've created your new employee, you click on these permissions section over here to identify which sections they're allowed to view. So for example, I can give Sarah access to only time cards information, or I can give her access to all. Typically, an employee account is not going to be able to use a roads or a production section. They'll only have access to their own time card information, so it's good to just give that permission. There are standard permissions set in the back end of the system for the type of role you have, so you don't have to worry about an employee getting into somewhere and possibly making some changes by accident or anything like that. So anyway, so I think that's pretty much all for creating new user accounts. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us at support@timbertracks.ca. And otherwise, have a great day.